Welcome to the Engerati studio. We are located at the CTICC for the Africa Utility Week 2014. And with us, we have Mr. Rana Singh, who is the Industrial Development Officer of the Renewable and Rural Energy Unit, Energy and Climate Change Branch for the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. I think I got all of that in.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
How are you enjoying the conference so far?
It's a good opportunity to understand Africa and the African countries, especially in the renewable energy. It's a really very good opportunity.
Yes, and there seems to be more vendors with every year and more interest in the African continent with every year.
In fact, there are many vendors and very good experienced consultants are also in this forum. So we are chatting and debating over several issues, and it is really strengthening my knowledge to make more intervention and a strong intervention in the country with renewable energy.
Fantastic. We were discussing before the interview, we were talking about the development of hydroelectricity within the African continent. Where does your association stand with this? What is the involvement in hydroelectricity? Where does the continent stand currently with this development in this clean energy source?
Yeah, hydropower is really a very big source of clean energy, and it is a gift of nature. Only thing is that you should not destroy the existing environmental thing associated with hydro. Of course, you can modify, little bit change and something like that, but it should not go beyond a certain acceptance limit. Otherwise, you cannot claim it as renewable energy. But if you are keeping within the limit and you are making some kind of energy output from this existing hydro system in your country or wherever it may be, you are complying with the requirement of renewable energy, and hydro is a good source of renewable energy.
Right.
It gives you a significant amount of energy. It is not like other sources which is very intermittent. It is continuous. At least for 8-9 months of the year you can get a good amount of power, and even in the remaining 2-3 months of lean season it will give considerable amount of energy. So in that sense it's a good source of renewable energy.
Yeah, and I mean it's quite a limited resource. It's becoming a limited resource around the world. Do you want to expand on that? I mean, the connection with climate change, and I mean, there's a lot of drought that's taking place throughout Africa. What are the other obstacles with regards to developing hydroelectricity?
Yeah, you are pointing towards one important obstacle, that is climate change. But other than that obstacle, we have many. But let me finish first with the climate change, what you have indicated. This is one of the realized threat to the hydropower. The climate is changing, the rainfall pattern is changing, and seasonality is already I mean, constant over the hydropower. So when you talk about hydropower, climate change, you have to take into consideration when you are studying from the very beginning that okay, instead of going this much of power, I will limit to this much because I have to make a cushion to observe the climate change kind of impact. For example, if you are thinking 100 megawatt to comply with the climate change kind of variation, if you drop down to 95, it will help you. It will help you. But still, you cannot say that I have overcome the climate change risk. No, there will be. Other than that, there are many things like technology. Technology itself, where from you are buying it. For example, a poor country is buying a technology from country A, country B, a developed world, and if their business networking and after project, I mean post-project support is not good enough, then the poor country after implemented, I mean after getting this project implemented, they will be always dependent on those countries, and that is a risk. Because you don't have the basic infrastructure, basic repair and maintenance. So that is a country dependence in terms of technology. Again, dependence in terms of financing of the project, funding of the project. If the funders are there, they will put you a lot of constraints, and if you have to comply with those constraints, at the end, your project is going to be very costly. So, and human resource is another constant in the developing world. So you have to be careful, and media and awareness campaign is missing in most of the countries. So unless and until you aware the people those who are going to be the real beneficiary of the project, they cannot raise their voice what is right, what is wrong. They cannot understand whether they are being cheated or they are getting support through the project. So the awareness is not only for the technocrats, awareness is for the social perspective, awareness is for the environmental perspective, awareness is required for the heritage conservation. So there are many kind of factors you have to consider, and that's why we used to say, whenever you define the hydropower intervention in a country, please start with the social acceptance level, where they are.
It needs to be sustainable, this development as well.
So,
you know, it's important that jobs are created. It's important that the environment is left alone as much as possible. That you're actually, benefiting from it, but as well as, keeping it in one piece. And also not moving populations unnecessarily from these sites. So what is the perspective, what is the view of hydroelectricity throughout Africa? Are utilities willing to develop their hydroelectricity potential, or are they looking at other perhaps easier sources of electricity, such as the fossil fuels, for instance? What is the trend at the moment? Is there an interest in developing hydro?
It's a very good question you are putting forward. So there is not a single solution or single answer of your question when you are asking about whole Africa. Africa, South Africa especially, it's a very developed world kind of thing. And if you go to the country like Sierra Leone and Liberia, where many of the projects are focusing, those are coming out of the conflict. So they are just, you can say, post-conflict countries, and they are under development and they are trying to develop. So the situation in that country and this country may be different. But what I want to tell you, in the whole African overall situation, there are certain pockets very good for hydropower. And especially like your country, South Africa, if you go in West Africa, they have a very good amount of rainfall. And that's the similar situation you can see in East Africa, but not in the sub-Saharan areas where there is less rainfall or no rainfall kind of thing. So resource-wise, that is the overall situation. But what you are saying, whether people are interested for the hydro, obviously, it is one of the interesting technology, it is one of the proven technology, it is one of the cost-effective solution, and it is giving you significant amount of energy. So it is not only limiting you to electrify your household, it will give you opportunity to enterprise development, it is supporting your service sector to expand, it is supporting you to industrialize your area and value addition. So the significant amount of energy potential of hydropower is making it different from the other source of energy.
Absolutely, and there does seem to be development on the cards, but there does seem to be very sluggish development, I think, in some parts. Perhaps maybe bankability of projects, perhaps too much, maybe not enough risk management.
That's true. But I would like to add you one more thing, which I explained earlier. You know, the country's situation is very important when you are talking about hydropower development. So if the country was not having any kind of awareness capacity in the past, and today you or me as an outsider going there and we are saying, oh, it's very proven good, you will get money from here or you will obtain loan from there, and you will ask the people who were sleeping till just before you reach there, and you are asking them to participate in a marathon of hydropower development, it's not possible.
Sure.
So you have to make them awake, alert them, educate them, and that transition period maybe a couple of years. If you are smart, it will be 2, 3, 4, 5 years. If you are not smart or they are not willing to follow you, then in that case, maybe 5 years, 10 years, or maybe 20 years, we don't know. But this transition is very important. So once you make the transition in many sense, funding, transition in awareness, capacity building, definitely if the resource is there, That's going to be one of the cost-effective and sustainable energy solution for those poor countries.
Well, it's very exciting. I wanted to ask you, just as a last question, with regards to the conference, has there been any particular trends that you've seen that have perhaps maybe been a bit disappointing or been really exciting? I'm going to use you as my reporter for a second. What have you seen out there? Is it good stuff, or is there quite a bit of bad stuff still? Maybe not enough development in certain areas?
I found this place, this gathering is very encouraging.
Good.
The people from different countries to whom I have interacted, and the companies who are present here, and the consultants who are working in this, to be very honest with you, I was cross-checking how do they feel, and I was putting some situation. I was discussing about my own project and my problem which I am facing in real life, and I got a very solid example, very solid explanation from those companies who are really leader in this sector. So what I say, it's a good opportunity, it's a really encouraging environment where one can learn and one can gain and take something from here.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about. It's all networking and learning from each other and gaining from each other. Absolutely. Well, I wish we had more time, but I'm sure we'll connect afterwards for some more information from you. Thank you very much for the interview. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference and that you gain much success from it. To our viewers, thank you very much for joining us. Please note that there are a number of interviews that will be done over the next 2 days. So please have a look at all of them. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Thank you.